the real question here, I mean, we've talked about a lot of heavy hitting subjects and some very informative things. And really, I want to know, how have you been a promoter for so long and not become a DJ?
You know, I've always thought about that. Like, I've thought about DJing because I could DJ in so many places if I want to right away.
That is the standard progression of a club promoter.
Trust me, I thought about something that I could do older if I wanted to.
You can't be like 45 in the club. I mean,
I could do whatever the fuck I want.
All right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
All right. You ready?
Let's fucking get it.
Let's go, baby. Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special guest here with me today. And just real quick before that, I got to get this in for my boy Diamond Cut. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you're on the YouTube. Anything that helps the algorithm out, we appreciate greatly here. And check out my boy Danny Diggs' Patreon for those super edits and all that good stuff. Yeah, sorry, I had to get that out of the way. I'm here with my boy Eric Boss, who I've known for a long time, but I don't really know much about you. You know what I mean? Like we're club friends.
I was thinking about that in the way here. I don't mean to interrupt, but like how many people that we know for years, but we don't know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it'd be easier if we're talking about this nightlife space for me to ask you what you haven't done.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't bartended. I tried doing it. I don't like bartending.
You're not a bartender?
No, I don't like...
You got the look of a bartender.
No. I am the laziest, hardest working motherfucker you'll ever meet. I mean, seriously.
Okay, elaborate on that.
No, I mean, I'm 18/7, 365 right now. Like...
I don't know what that means.
18 hours a day I'm working.
18 hours a day, but you don't want to put 4 of them behind a bar.
No, because it's a different type of work, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you're passionate, you know, it's cliche, but when you're passionate about something, it's not work. Like I wake up and it's like, I don't have to tell myself to do. I just get going and I don't stop.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't sleep.
So if you're working 18 hours a day, that means you're sleeping for 6 hours?
4 to 5.
4 to 5 hours.
That hour, and this is the days that I'm not working out, because working out, it fluctuates. But that extra hour buffer I just gave you is literally eating shitting.
Eating and shitting.
Yeah.
What does a 18-hour workday look like for you?
For
what
me,
exactly
all day,
are you?
It's literally because I do all my own social media.
Yeah.
I do booking and this is for 3 parties a week. I mean, what's funny is that when I had 4 parties a week, more of a workload, I felt a little bit more in my element. Now that I have an extra time, not really extra time, it's the same time. I just don't know what to do with myself as much. I'm trying to work smarter. That's actually what I just did an ayahuasca ceremony, and that was like my intention going into it. And ever since then too, it's already a little fucking corners. I've been finding angles everywhere.
Where was that at? Ayahuasca?
In Florida.
Nice.
But no. So then there's I mean it's a plethora of things. It's meetings. It is because I have all the DJs that I book for each party. There's different elements to it, right? For Notel Hotel, there's an entertainer. There's a vendor. There's multiple vendors sometimes. My surprise snack. On Thursdays, I have house and sushi. So I got my sushi girl. I have the artist, and I'm coordinating everything. Like in a perfect world, I would delegate a lot of things, but I feel like it's not part of what makes me unique is me, and part in this and everything that I do. So I couldn't even put that on someone else. I could train them, but they're still not going to have the same thought process as me.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same creativity, so it's not going to work. Trust me, I would love to do it, and that's what everyone says to do, but it's like, and I would pay for it too if I could. But one thing I added to my parties recently was an assistant, just a girl assistant that before it was all me doing the entertaining, the running around with the bubble guns, like all the little stuff that, makes it different. And now that I have a girl that's doing that for me, now it opens me up to do other things. I could, because I'm literally nonstop, my phone's going.
Yeah.
It's messages, notifications, it's nonstop. People outside, you know how that is. And then I can talk to people more, because when I'm before in my parties, I'm literally, you know, I said this on another podcast too. Like I would shake someone's hand and I'm walking away. Like I'm not even, it's so, I think it's disrespectful. And it's like, so now I've taken more time to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's really grown me. Like that's why I want to jump on this. I want to do this too, because, you know, the more you do this, the more you grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And me and Diamond Cut did just watch your snippet from ABC 7, the mindful promoter. I feel like you need to have some sort of logo that incorporates like meditation and
Yeah, right? Like me like in a fucking yoga pose.
yeah, but also like
With a bubble gun.
with a bubble gun, but also like with like some alcohol or something party related. Some
Well,
sort of
it would have to be weed. It would have, because that's my thing now. Like I don't even drink anymore. It's crazy.
What? How long have you not been drinking?
So I stopped because I want to say quit, because I've had a couple of times where I did do it. In almost November. It's been a year. It just passed 1 year.
Okay.
And completely stopped, and then I stopped cocaine as well because one was with the other.
Yeah, the weirdest thing to me is the people that stop drinking but they keep doing cocaine.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's weird. That's a weird one.
Well, you know, everyone's body makeup chemistry is different, right? So the way that we feel when we do cocaine, we need that downer. We need that alcohol to bring us back down. That's why we do it.
Yeah, it just seems like a constant battle of like, I got too drunk, so let me do some cocaine. Oh, no, I'm way too fucking ripped.
Oh my
let me
God.
get some alcohol. And then you're just you're going back and forth, but you're just climbing the ladder.
Yes, it's a vicious cycle too. I love that you just said that, because it is. As soon as I do a bump, then I want a shot. And then when I do a shot, now I want to bump. Now, and it's all night. And then and what's funny is that you think you're getting sober because of the cocaine sobering you up, but you're not. You're still taking that same amount. You just feel more.
No, you're getting less sober.
Yeah,
you're getting more drunk, but you're feeling more sober with every bump of cocaine you do. That's the scariest thing to me about cocaine.
Yeah.
I've never done it. I've never tried it. Yeah, I've never tried it.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's so funny how there's just a stigma, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in nightlife, you think that it's a normal thing.
Well, it is. I'm the outstander. I'm the outlier.
It's as casual as cigarettes, you know what I mean? And
100%. Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that don't. But then every time I meet someone, especially a DJ, you know, if you're working in it, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
I could see some people indulging in it and not doing it, just drinking, which is, they're always sloppy ass fucking drunk. But yeah, I just can't believe that you never done it before.
That's my whole thing. Is like it's so scary to me, because you're just it seems like you're just trying to achieve a state of mind that's so easily attainable with just a well balanced ability to drink.
Oh, see,
you know what I'm saying? Because like you're drinking and then you get a little too drunk and you're like, well, let me do some of this to get back here. Yeah. And then you're like, well, no, I'm not drunk enough. So you're like trying to find that balance the whole time with chemistry, when you could really just be drinking less or slower or like whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And what's funny is that everyone's different, right? So for me, I have one of the most unique, I guess, situations where I just said did you see that clip I just posted about from 2013, 2014?
Yeah.
And it's probably longer.
We'll explain it for anyone that hasn't seen it.
From 2013 at least, because that's when I stopped recruiting. So I just started doing promoting full time, and then it's when I moved to Vegas. My fucking stint in Vegas, that's insane. But from 2014 to at least 2019, somewhere between 2020, I literally did cocaine and drank at least five. And then, because all the clubs I worked at were open 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
And then if I went out one night, which I always did, 6 nights, most of the time, and then sometimes 7. Sometimes I would go, but I would always wake up. Then I would go to sleep, wake up the next morning, down ice water. That's a trick I learned when I lived in Vegas. Down to ice water. I always said that if I got a hangover, I never got hangovers. If I got a hangover, it's because I didn't do enough cocaine. That was for me.
It's one way to look at it.
No, that was for me though. You know what I mean? So, and that was a personal thing that I analyze everything about myself.
Yeah.
My emotions, my behavior, everything, and why, and I analyze it. I always say that, and Coke. The funny thing about Coke is that it intensified it. So for me, I did Coke and drinking, at the clubs for balance. It wasn't really for anything enhance for me, but mentally. So like you were saying, how like when I did coke, I would literally just analyze things more. I used to have these one-liners. One of the one-liners was, you know how drinking and drugs usually harms people, you know, it makes me better. Because I used to be able to articulate, I used to be able to just just having conversations. Some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life have been from doing cocaine all night.
Well, but that's only in your own mind. I feel like it's one of those things where you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm crushing it. We're having the best convo. We're coming up with these business ideas that are multi-million-dollar ideas.
Yeah.
And then like, if you saw a video of yourself in that conversation the next day sober, you'd be like, yeah, no, this isn't really what I was thinking it was.
And I could value that perspective, but this is for me, like I said, my situation is unique. So one, kind of backtracking, you've heard of Asian flush?
Asian flush is when Asian people drink alcohol and they turn red.
So
shouts to my boy Fawn.
Yeah. So I get that. I used to get that. And what I found that counteracted it was cocaine. So it was twofold. The minute I would get a little red, I would do a bump. It would go away.
I wonder if Fawn feels the same way. I need to ask.
It would go away. And then because if I didn't do it, I would literally get beet red. I'm talking beet red, veins popping out, and it's just like an allergic reaction. It's like I'm allergic to it.
Yeah. What type of Asian are you, by the way? Sorry to interrupt.
Mix of. I was almost said the one joke that I just said on last podcast, but I almost said it. I'm Filipino, Italian. See, I had a joke where I said I was German, Irish, and Italian. And I got surgery to get my eyes like this. That's a joke of mine. So I just fucked up right there. I'm Filipino, Japanese, and Chinese.
Filipino, Japanese, and Chinese, which would break down how? Your parents?
Yeah, so my mom, her grandparents, one is Japanese, full Japanese, and one's full Filipino.
Okay.
And my dad on his side, one's full Chinese and one full Filipino.
Okay, so you're Filipino mostly.
Yes, I'm 50 and 25.
Okay.
And you know how you do those things where you get like that full breakdown. I've never done that. You know, I'd like to know, because at the end of the day, do I really know for sure unless I do that? You know?
Yeah, like the 23andMe you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never really had a desire. Nothing's really drawn me into wanting to do that. I'm a mutt for sure. I'm all sorts of white stuff. Italian, Polish, Russian. But like I don't know. Some people are like drawn, they're like, I need to know.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know? You just made me think about the fact that like I think when you first moved back, when did you move back here?
I just got back here at the beginning of October.
Oh, wow. So fresh.
I
remember every time I saw you, it was like after you had lost weight. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, you look fucking great.
Thank you.
It's so funny how different like a person's face looks, you know, if you lose weight.
Yeah. If you shave the beard off and get all the vaginal secretions off your face.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, babe. No,
can you hear it? Or no?
Nah, I'm kidding. I don't know. Yeah, no, sorry. So I interrupted you to ask what type of Asian you were, and I have some Asian questions if we remember to come back to. But I
always say that I'm a coconut, brown outside, white inside. I grew up with Italians. I've never been with an Asian girl. I don't have any like.
No, stop it! Come on, you've been with 1,500 women. You've never been with an Asian one.
1,500, a couple hundred, but not 1,500. But listen, so no, I grew up in a town that was in Addison. It was all Italians.
So you're from Chicago.
Yeah.
Grew up in Addison.
Yeah. And
is Chris R from Addison too?
I know he knows people. Like he's friends with a lot of the people.
A lot of this industry is from Addison.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's from there. I'm not sure. But Joey G is my best friend. He's from Addison. We grew up together. But like it was all my friends were Italian, all of them.
Okay.
And all my girlfriends growing up, you know, has been pretty much Italian. That's just what I'm attracted to, because that was like I was conditioned. That was the popular girls in school, the good-looking girls. If I went to an Asian school, I would be a lot different, you know. Yeah. But that's what the I was conditioned.
Okay. Well, yeah. Continue. You were telling me about how drugs and alcohol made you a better person.
Yes. And how unique it was for me, because it's kind of put me on this mental health journey that I'm on. Because I would go out, I would party, usually go home with a girl, and we would start doing coke. And I'd say more than, this is just an arbitrary number, but more than half the time we would even hook up and we would just talk.
Yeah.
There's been a couple girls.
Cocaine, unfortunately, but also fortunately, does that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's why I said, like, it's just like, I guess you would really have to do it to understand, because I just know from researching my, just from analyzing myself, the thoughts, the way I just analyze, like, I'm an analytical person by nature, but when I did blow, I would analyze my analyzations. And then I would analyze the analysis of my analysis.
See,
then I would, it's like, no, I just know it. Oh,
and you enjoyed that.
yes. Yeah.
See, because for me, I feel like drinking, it deters the overthinking. That's like overthinking. To me, you drink enough alcohol, like from a DJ's perspective, you're turning the voice in your head down a little bit. You're able to like calm that over analyzing, overthinking thing where you're like, if I play this song, they're going to react this way. And then if they react that way, they're going to hate me and I'm not going to be able to do this. And like, you're going and going and going, and the alcohol almost subsides that. Like, I don't want that. You're like, turn me up, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? What's funny is that, oh God. Yeah. Drugs affect everyone different.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I was able to, just like at first when I used to not be able to smoke weed before I worked out. There's no way I would ever do that. Then I'm in a different head place, mental space, and I'm channeling, like kind of like how I feel during when I smoke weed, and I go work out, and I love it now.
Yeah,
it's my pre-workout. I won't work out without it.
Yeah, that actually is on my little fitness and health and mental health journey. Yeah, marijuana played a big part in that for me.
Oh, it's amazing. Everyone's different, right?
Getting high and working out is something special.
Yes, it is. Oh, I love that you just said that, because there are points where I just, in particular, this just happened like a week or two ago. I was working out. I get high as fuck before I work out, and I hit a point where like I almost literally passed out. Like, but it was so good.
Yeah,
like it felt so good. I'm like, that's better than any drug I've ever taken.
Yeah,
I literally said that to myself in my head. But everyone's different. Some people would never do that.
Yeah.
For me, it was a beautiful thing. I had an acid trip by myself in Vegas in the mountains. That was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Nice.
Yeah. And then just the last ayahuasca trip was amazing too.
All right. So before your,
so drugs make me better.
So yeah, before you really figured out how to unlock your best self there.
Yeah.
What was your start in the service industry?
God, I'd say it was through Joey. Like because I was going to Spy Bar when I was 20. I didn't go out before then, but 20 because he was working there.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think right before that. And he literally just said, I was like, you could promote you could promote here or whatever, and it just started there. I started promoting, and I was at one time I had my
at 20.
No, actually, I didn't start an actual promoting till about 20. Oh man, this is hard to pin back. I'd say around 25.
25. Which, if you got a date, like what are we talking? 2013? We talking 2010?
Oh, I would say it was about 2009, 10.
2009, 2010. Yeah. All right, you're 25. You're promoting, you're getting your beak wet a little bit.
I was a recruiter too, full time at the time.
Oh, you had a day job as well?
Yeah.
All right, so
I had a really good day job. At 24, I was making six figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. When did you start getting tatted?
Jesus. My first one, I think it was like around 16, 17, high school. And now it's just like I'm running out of space.
Yeah. All right, so you're 25, let's say 2010. You're promoting in Chicago. At what point, and also what drives you to go to Vegas?
Wow. So I got let go. I got let go from my, I was spending all day on Facebook promoting, and my numbers, faltered. And I remember this clear. I just remember this so clear. Brought me in the office. It's like, yeah, you're not really doing as well as you were. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really working as much as I was. I was just honest,
Yeah.
They didn't even know that I was like really promoting, because that's where Eric Boss came from, because I didn't want them seeing my name on Facebook and pushing flyers all day, and let me go. And at the time, we were doing a nightlife website. It was before like Tinder and before like it was just when the festivals were getting big. It was called nightlifeunite.com. It was me, Joey, and another partner. And we're like, why don't we, a good place to, because we're going to push it in Chicago, but the mecca of, nightlife at that time in the US was Vegas, and so we're like, well, let's go to Vegas. And I literally just hit up a friend. I'm like, I just put out a post out there, like anyone with friends in Vegas. And that just led me on this crazy fucking path because my roommate out there, she happened to be a famous edible chef. Shout out Edible D, love you. And she was like well known out there. She had cooked for Missy Elliott. She'd cooked for, all the DJs when they would come in town. She was, so it was an awesome hookup, going out there, living with her, starting my nightlife, kind of, because I went out there with only one place I thought I was going to be working.
Yeah.
And it was not even for the actual club. It was through a door guy. And I was basically over there for maybe about a couple months before I started meeting people here or there. I would go to strip clubs and just tell them who I was. And then I Love Vegas, this company recruited me. And now I started working with all the clubs. It was crazy. Because for an independent promoter, you can't do it like it would now. It's a lot. Things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
But for an independent promoter out there, if you had a big network, you would crush. Like if you were going to Vegas, the only people that were there from Chicago was me and Brian Pfeiffer at the time. You know Brian, right? From
Surreal.
Yeah. That was it. And he's still doing his thing out there, and like that. But we're the only ones, really, the biggest. So I mean, every weekend I would have anywhere from 10 to 15 groups, that I would be doing shit for,
hosting,
all weekend. Yeah.
I have a question really quick, but let me piss. I'll come back and ask you. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna piss my pants. All right, sorry.
Do you remember your question?
When I have to piss, when I have to piss, I can't hold it in. I cannot for the life of me physically hold it in.
You know what's so funny, too?
I will piss myself.
Well, you know what's so funny is that you ever notice, like, the closer you get to a bathroom, all of a sudden, the more intense it is. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
That's the brain telling you that it's close.
It's my brain. Speaking of mental health, I need to work on my ability to hold my pee in. It's not my bladder.
Yeah.
It's my mind.
Well, it's really funny that you just said that because, like, that's when my mind is fucked because anything that, like, I find challenging or hard or I don't want to do, I got into a place in my life where I just do it now. Like, no fear, no doubt. And, like, one of those, and we're talking about holding your piss, like, that's one of those things. Like, dude, I would tell myself, hold that shit. You could do that. It's like... I push myself.
I mean, I pissed myself like recently, unfortunately, but it happens.
You could piss into a bottle or anything, or piss outside or anything. I pissed in so many bottles.
I was in the car and I was coming back and I was like getting right to the exit off the highway where my crib's right there, and I'm like, all right, I'll be able to make it. I'll be able to make it. And it just happened.
Man, when like when I used to like work out a lot, like when I was trying to like get super ripped, like you're supposed to drink a ton of water. Yeah. 1 to 2 gallons a day. And if you drink a gallon a day, you will not stop pissing all day. That's and I literally had bottles in my car that I would keep the piss in.
Yeah. Did you ever accidentally swig one?
Yes, I have.
No.
I swear to God. I've drank my piss. Yeah, I've had. On accident.
How was it?
I mean, it wasn't bad.
Decent.
It wasn't. I didn't keep drinking it. I spit the shit out. I was pissed.
No pun intended. Yeah. All right. The question I had. That's gonna
be a clip for sure.
The question I had was, you went out to Vegas originally to start this company, this dating website thing.
But I knew I had to make ends meet. Sorry.
Yeah, and then obviously, you got to work while you're trying to get this off the ground. Did the whole promoting thing just get too good too fast and you sort of went with that? Yeah,
it really did. And honestly, like I was still also promoting this, through the internet back home. So I was getting checks from Spy Bar, Castle, Mid.
That mailbox money.
Yeah, so that was, exactly. So that was paying my rent. My rent was only $400 when I moved out there. Shit was so cheap. And then, so it gave me opportunity to build out there, right? And just do shit. So that's when I started, man, I was going out every single day. Out of the first 3 months there, I probably went out out of 90 days, probably 75.
Yeah.
There was only a couple of days that I didn't go out. But it was like that the more you network, the more you talk to people, the more, you grow.
That was the grind. Yeah. I mean, well, part of me misses those days, and the other part of me is like, thank God I don't do that anymore, because I was a fat piece of shit. But going out every single night to grow your brand and partying, drinking, and for me with my brand, fucking girls was like, it was work. Yeah. I could really leave my crib and be like, I'm going to work. And do all of those things. Yeah. Which was insane.
I know. It's a crazy life. I think for anyone that's worked in nightlife, or, it's doing it in an excess like that, like we have, like it's fucking fun, But at the end of the day, it's like, when does it end, right? So, but I mean, I was only out there for a year. Like, I'm not sure if you knew, but because my dad got sick, that's when I was just like, I was seeing a girl back home still, and I'm just like, I don't need to do this, right? Like this, my parents are more important. Like it was just only my mom and my dad. Yeah. That I have no other family. Yeah. So and then now my dad just passed away in June. Now it's just me and my mom.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. No, I'm sorry for your loss.
But so I mean, I loved it. It was a grind, but man, the stories, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, I mean, family is definitely the most important thing. That's kind of one of the reasons I came back from Houston, for sure. I had no family out there, no real friends, like deep friends from who I consider the people to be that like made me who I am. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was missing that, and I felt like I kind of was drifting away from who I am.
Well, I feel like the only way, this is just me, like I always have to like advise people. I feel like if the only way to be able to combat that would have been like if you had did you have a goal that you were working towards when you were out there? Were you grinding?
To me, I made money the goal. Yeah. That's what I did, because I went out there during COVID when no DJ was making money, no service industry person in Chicago was making money. It was closed. Yeah. So I was out in Houston and I was able to make money. So I sort of made that the goal. Yeah. And then I was able to make like real good money. Yeah. Like double the amount that I was making here. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to fucking get this bag and I'm just going to grind it out. And I really did until I went till the wheels fell off.
Yeah. I had to say, I had no idea about how the wheels fall off.
I just, I was working 5 nights a week, Saturdays, 2 shifts. So 6 shifts a week. And also 2 of those were in the strip club.
Oh, yeah.
Which the strip club is a darker place than the regular club even is.
Trust me, I get it. When I worked out in Vegas, I worked for the 3 biggest ones, I feel like. Crazy Horse 3, Sapphire, and Spearmint Rhino. Yeah. And I had independent contracts with all 3 of them. And literally, I'd be in a strip club. That's why I hate them now. I'd be in a strip club every day, at least 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7. Multiple times at different times of the day. I'd be there at 10 a.m. I'd be there at 2 p.m. I'd be there at 4 in the morning. I'd be there, with different groups all day and night long. So I would literally sit there and see the same girl, dancing with different guys all the time, and just nasty guys. And I'm just like, it's someone's daughter. I'm like, it's just like, there's if you're gonna do that, you can make a lot more money doing something very similar and not having respect. I feel like, because I feel like. I know a lot of strippers are going to get mad at that right now, but I just feel like I don't knock anyone for what they do, but I wouldn't want my daughter doing that. That's just what it comes down to.
You definitely would not. I don't think there would ever be a father on the face of the earth that would say they want their daughter doing that. I mean, my experience from strippers in Houston is like, I used to love the strip club. There was nothing I loved more than going to the strip club.
Yeah, I never loved it.
Then I started working in it, and I'm like, get me out of here. Yeah. Never bring me back into a place like this. You were able to really like see these women, and it sort of occurred to me that they're stunted. Their growth mentally is stunted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're 25-year-old women, but they never made it past 17 in their heads. Yeah. Like they can't operate as adults like they should, and they're just stuck. And that's why they can't get out of the strip club.
Yeah, and it sucks because they're a product of their upbringing too. And it's like it's crazy how your younger years and obviously trauma what it does to you and shapes you, your future.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to reverse that pattern, to get out of that behavior, unless you actually identify it. You want to do it. You take, you identify you have a plan, you stick to that plan. You know how hard that is for someone that's not, you almost need someone to hold their hand through it and do it for them, help them.
Well, that's the shitty part about that is that's true. And a lot of people, I didn't know this, but strippers have pimps. I thought pimps were exclusively for,
I didn't know that.
like prostitutes who needed protection on the street.
Yeah, I just thought for prostitutes. I never heard of strippers.
I found this out working in the strip club, is that there are pimps that work with strippers, and because they sell them on the dream of like, yo, I can give you this. Like they pull up in the nice car, and they got the chains and they got all the money, and they're like, you stick with me, I'll get you whatever you need. I'll get you whatever you want. I'll show you. I'll guide you. I got you.
So is he pimping them out though? Are they fucking guys then too?
Some of them do, but just even if they're not doing that, it's just like the security of having somebody who's showing you the way.
Yeah.
You know
that
what I mean?
Sense. Yeah.
It's like they're taking advantage of them because they need some leadership, and they're giving them leadership, but it's not good leadership.
No,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
not. It's definitely not. They're totally being manipulated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, I was technically a pimp in when I was there in Vegas, because I had.
Now that's going to be the clip.
I literally, because I had girls that I just knew from the strip club, and they would always come up to me, and they, the ones that didn't know, man, I'm like, listen, you're wasting your time. I'm a host, I'm not going to give you any money. But do you do any extracurricular? And most of the time they did. And then all of a sudden they're kind of like in my roster, and they would send me like videos and promos to like show my clients, because if my client would ask for it, I would show them, like, this is this girl, blah, blah. The craziest is when I had, I had to pick up money from this one woman one time. And I never picked up money from her yet. And she's like, it's in the back, and I can't come outside. She's like, yeah, it's in my daughter's rocking chair. And I'm like, what?
Sweet.
I walk back there, and it's like a little, like a toy play set, whatever, rocking chair. I open up the thing, money's in there, I grab it. I'm like, what is my wife coming to? But yeah, that was it. I mean, man, my typical day in Vegas, my night in Vegas was fucking insane. Like it would start off, I would meet someone at a club to either walk them in or host their table, right? Sometimes I would just walk in a group, and then I'd have to shoot down the strip to another club, walk in another group, chill with the group for a while, party with them. I had to go bring a ball over to this place, this guy. I'd have to go over here. Like I was just nonstop going back and forth. Like now that I look back on it in retrospect, like, holy fuck, like this is dangerous as fuck. Driving around with drugs. I was drinking, you know what I mean? I was just nonstop. But I also would come home, and I have thousands of dollars in my pocket, so
not bad.
It's just like,
yeah, I think that's part of growing, becoming more of a man, is realizing like, yo, that shit was fun, but like,
yes,
I need to build something sustainable here.
Yeah. What I love about what I do now is that I'm my own boss, no pun intended. But
Eric boss,
I wake up whenever I want. I want to wake up, to start working. I just have freedom, you know what I mean? And I do what I love, I think, and now, and the biggest thing, like you were talking about before, is, making money, that's the kicker, like, doing what you love. But a lot of times it's hard to make really good money doing that. Mm-hmm. No, you go ahead both. That's like the American dream. Yeah. And sustainable. It's not sustainable what I'm doing right now. Because it's me every night in the club. What's sustainable, I think, is what I want to do in my future, is like doing this dry baby party. Did you hear about that? I just did that.
No, what's that?
So it's my first party I just did on Halloween. Of course, it had to be fucking a blizzard on Halloween. And I just jumped. I didn't really plan ahead for it, because I just do things, and then you learn from it, right? If you don't,
I operate sort of the same way.
So,
I can relate to that.
So it was a no alcohol party, and so I had a couple cannabis vendors, and it was basically just kind of like it was different. It was more like a house party, which was great, because I was actually able to talk to people, like and not pounding music. There was an area with pounding music, but I was able to talk to people. So I want to branch off into that, because I have people contacting me on my Instagram all the time about doing certain things. A girl wants me to do one in Scottsdale. Another girl wants me to do one in San Diego. And then there's the mental health stuff too. It's like I feel like there's so many things that I am going to do long term that are sustainable, not doing my weekly parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, what's the goal of the weekly parties?
It's stacking money right now.
Just getting the money.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I see that. So yeah, I mean, you're sort of a self-proclaimed mental health aware party promoter.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of an insane title. I feel like it's like sort of like a carnivore that preaches veganism, or maybe like a marksman that doesn't really like the NRA.
There you go.
or an Uber driver that drives like a two-seater.
Oh, that's fucking funny. It's yeah, and I try to be very vocal about the fact that like if I know what I do for a living, right? It's like I'm literally serving you alcohol, and it's not even just about alcohol. It's just kind of the nightlife itself, because I feel like if you're not in a good mental place, the nightlife isn't a good place for you to frequent. It's really not, unless you are able to, separate. As long as if you have goals, if you have if you're paying your bills, it's all those things. It should be done as recreation, not therapy. And it's like, and honestly, if it's affecting your life negatively in any way, you're not paying your bills, you're late to work, you're sad the next day, then don't do it. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So you just have to stop. It's a beautiful thing. Step away from it for a little bit, and who knows what could happen, what you can do. But it's better than digging yourself in a hole, because that's what the people are doing. But I think at the end of the day, it's like when you're young, you do stuff like that and you don't think about it, right?
You don't understand the habits that you're building for your future.
Mm-hmm. And especially with nightlife, because it's the sensory overload. It's the girls, the drugs, the music, it's like high school, it's like if you're popular, there's more people that like you and want to hang out with you, so it's really easy to just not think about your life as a whole and altogether in the long run. I think any advice I could give to like a person in their 20s that are partying right now, like, like what we used to do, because I used to go out all the time, is that when you're older, you realize that you look back in your life and you realize that there's blocks of time, and you could take a block of 20. If I took a block of 25 to 28 completely to myself, found out what I love to do, focus on my goals, and just grinded, I'd be a millionaire right now. 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I'd be in a lot of different position. That's for sure. And as far as financially, because, I have money, but I'm not rich. And unfortunately in America, for the things that I want, I want to take care of my mom for the rest of her life. I want to buy her house. I want to buy her houses wherever I buy houses. I need money, and if I would have started doing that a long time ago, I'd be a lot closer. Thank God I'm there now. I'm working on it right now, but if we could have did that back then, because right now I'm at a point in my life, everything is noise. Nothing matters but my goals, my mom, what I want. Before, all my life, I was partying my ass off, making money, I had girls, so you're going like this, progressing. Since January is when I stopped talking to this one girl that I was on and off with for a while, realized what I want to do with my life. And now, and it's working nonstop, like I said, 18 fucking hours a day. Now I'm like this. And so it's just like, man, I wish I would have did that a couple of years ago, or, whatever. But I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, like mentally, if I didn't go through all that.
Yeah.
So I can't really say I wish I started back then doing that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm also in a different place right now, especially coming back from Houston, being back home. I have a girlfriend now that I love a lot, and everything's different. Everything feels different. Scenarios that are the same scenarios that I've been in prior, last year, 2 years ago, they feel different now because I am different.
The mental
you know what I'm
picture,
saying?
yeah.
Like, I almost feel like I've been on this podcast and talking about how money ruined DJing for me, and like I just chased the money for 3 years, and like money is evil, and money, money, money. I don't care about it anymore. I spent so much time trying to get it, and I still am not happy. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I'm lonely, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But now that I have things to look forward to and a girlfriend that's expensive.
Yeah.
Girlfriends are expensive.
Yeah.
I'm want money again, but like it's different. It feels better because I have something to actually do with it that I enjoy.
Yes.
Rather than just having a bunch of it in Houston and not giving a fuck, and I could buy whatever I want and I could do whatever I want and it didn't matter. And it was just me. Anything I did was just it felt like I was sort of floating. Like any decision I made didn't really matter. It wasn't bringing me in any one certain direction. Now the decisions I make are clear, and I have a direction that I'm heading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it feels better.
No, 100%. I one of the things I always preach is that, you have to have purpose, goals, direction. I mean, without that, that's one of the biggest reasons a lot of people are, depressed. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So you're just literally just going to be going, aimlessly. That's just such a huge thing. That's one big breakthrough for me, is that when I real, you have to know what you want, say what you want, and the more, this is video by this motivational speaker, Brian Tracy, changed my life. It's this video that I've watched thousands of times probably now. I would put it on softly before I would go to bed, so I felt like it was internalizing in there. And it just taught me this: if you don't have pure, specific goals for your life, you are doomed to work for people that do.
That's big facts.
And it's like, so if you know what you want, and you could break it down even more specific, setting actual specific goals. The more specific, the better. Writing them down. I try to tell people all the time, one of the biggest things that I did that really, really made a huge difference, I would have my goal, and then before I would go to bed, I'd say, what did I do today to bring me closer to my goal? And you could easily write that down. And then if I didn't do anything, I would make sure I did that the first thing, the next day. One of the things I do right now, I try to live by, is like, make a fucking move every day. A big move, a move that because you're one move away from the next big thing for you. It's one conversation, one meeting. That's from Ed Mylett. That's all I watch now. I don't watch TV at all. The only thing I watch is when I eat something, I put on the UFC fights. But all I watch now is self-development, stuff just to make me stronger mentally.
Yeah, like Gary V type inspirational things, or like more spiritual.
Both.
Ram Dass.
Both. I'd say definitely from a work professional's perspective, I watch a lot of those guys. Like Patrick Bett. Like there's just so many. I can't even. They're just all over. And then, as far as spiritual, I'd say as far as my spirituality goes, it's more of kind of it's like your relationship with yourself and your mind. That's the biggest thing. I'd say the quality of your life is dictated by your thoughts, is dictated by your ability to get over negative thoughts. Like if you could master that, everything's beautiful. Nothing will affect you. But one of the biggest realizations I had was, this is from another video that I saw, the past, and the future. Almost every person is affected negatively by something that's happened before, or anxiety about the future.
Yeah.
And they talk about it all the time. I have no negativity in my life. I have no outside forces affect me negatively. And it's like, if people just realize that everything that happened yesterday is now just a memory. It's literally just a thought arising in your head now. And if you put that in perspective, if there's nothing you could do about it, there's no reason to spend any time over there. You move forward and you do what you need to do right now. And that's just the mindset that I've been in now. Everything's right now.
Yeah. That's, have you ever read The Power of Now? back?
No, I
I'm
want to
calling.
though, and because this is one of my jokes I used to say. I don't read. I mean, I can read, but I don't read.
Yeah. Well, listening to it is just
Yes,
good.
I guess it's the
I'm a
same
big
thing.
audiobook
But I used
guy.
to always joke about the
I
last
can't read. Actually,
the last books I said I used to I read were like Charlotte's Web, James and the Giant Peach,
Yeah.
Outsiders, that type of shit. But no, Power of Now. I've heard it's amazing though.
Yeah, it's basically what you just said. It's
Really?
that. Yeah, it's that. It's all about how the only time that really exists is now.
Yeah.
And that's just all you have. Everything else is you not being in the now.
And now,
It's
yeah,
you being in your
I never
head.
heard it put in that way. That's a great way of saying it
Yeah.
because it's true. Everything else is really does not matter, and you spend time where you could be doing things right now, thinking about that, thinking about the future, and it's like it's natural. But once you have that realization, and now like it makes life so much more with a sense of urgency. Like I don't have time to fucking fuck around anymore.
Yeah.
It's like if when you're I wish I knew that in my 20s, but it's good that I realize it now because some people don't realize it their entire life.
Yeah. Mushrooms. Do you do mushrooms at all?
Love them. I now when I go out, so I only eat them when I've done them so many times. Like and I didn't used to ever
Like a
pack those.
heroic dose?
Well, an eighth. I used to eat an eighth.
That's pretty heroic.
Yeah, I'd eat an eighth, and but I've gone to Blue Man Group, I don't know, several times, Navy Pier. There's so many like Cirque du Soleil, like the shrooming. I used to love that shit.
Yeah.
Now I just use it to microdose.
Yeah.
Like I'll go out and like I went out Saturday night, and I'll just eat a little bit and smoke weed all night, and I don't drink at all.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I like that as well. I tried mushrooms for the first time maybe like 5-6 months ago at this point.
Oh,
Maybe
first
a little
time?
bit more. Yeah. And I have not taken more than like a minuscule amount.
Oh, really?
I haven't like really tripped yet.
Oh man,
There was one bachelor party I was at in Austin where my boy wasn't drinking, so I didn't really want to drink either.
Yeah.
But I ate the most amount of mushrooms that I've had.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal night.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good time. And the reason I bring it up is because the feeling, like I can remember sitting in my car listening to The Power of Now and getting this overwhelming feeling of intense, I don't even know, I want to say happiness, but I don't know what it was, just an intense feeling of like, I can't do anything right now but smile.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I eat mushrooms, that's the feeling that comes over me. And I think that is the most pure version of living in the moment and accepting the now.
Oh yeah.
Is because there's nothing else going on other
not
than
thinking
just
about-
being
Yep.
right here, and
Yep.
you're just happy to be there.
Yeah,
and
100%.
you can't do anything but smile.
Yeah. You're not thinking about anything else, not to think about the past, not think about the future.
Yeah.
Just right then and there. Yeah. I mean, and that's the funny thing about drugs. I mean, they bring you to a place that you wouldn't get to sober. I mean, this is what it is. And that's why, like I said, my last acid trip, that was fucking beautiful, fun and beautiful. And I didn't mean to do it on by myself, but it ended up that way. And then this ayahuasca ceremony I just did, that was awesome too. And that was a lot different. That was more spiritual. It wasn't recreation. It was like, I'm going in with this intention, wrote it down in a journal. I had one of my best friends with me. And we said it out loud, and then off we went. And I can't even tell you, I spent probably about an hour in the mirror by myself in this bathroom, and the stuff that I said to myself, like, it's fucking over. Like, it's just like, I was already in a good mental place before. Now it's just like, it's just a matter of time, and that's why I've worked so much, because every hour extra I work is closer to me getting there.
Yeah. So what would you say is your most your closest goal, the next goal that you're trying to hit? Like you're working to do this sober party that you said you did on Halloween, and you want to make it a big event, something that's bigger than just like a weekly party, something that'll really give you longevity and all that. So what goal are you working at hitting right now?
I have multiple. I mean, the other one is going to be to do an ayahuasca ceremony, most likely in Denver, because that's where this girl has a center at, and it's legal there. So just a lot less red tape, or like liability. But that's definitely one. I have multiple. The other one is not doing my mom's calm right now. Taking care of my mom, like it's the relationship that's grown with my mother after my dad passed. I never had before, now we talk every day. Now we hang out every week, cause that's all she has is me, and she's the only family I have as well. And it just works out perfect. I don't care about girls right now. I've had a lot of that, too much of that. I don't, I know who my best friends are, and they're, your real friends. They're understanding. They get it, like if, as long as you reciprocate with communication, stuff like that, you can maintain the friendship, and so that, stopping the weekly parties for sure. I mean, I haven't put a straight deadline on it because different things pop up. Like another one, I might be doing another one soon. And the way I look at it is just, like I said, stacking money, right? Because I need to get to this point where I have the money where I could just do the stuff on my own, so I could take care of myself, take care of my mom, and take care of the funding for for these parties by myself. I don't want to have any other investors involved, and it's just a lot easier for me to handle it all myself.
Yeah.
And also hire a team. I mean, eventually I'd like to hire a team.
Yeah. So take me through like a 18-hour workday. I mean, what does it look like for you? You're waking up. Do you have a routine, a morning routine that you're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wake up, I'll literally fucking energy drink as soon as I wake up. I'm sipping that thing right away. C4 or Monster. Oh yeah, I'm going straight in.
You're going all the way.
But it's literally, and I have my set posts. all my posts are, if I don't have them scheduled already, I'm looking at social media and I'm just basically writing on. I have a little vision board on my desk too that I just have, number one, my list of what I have to do that day. But it's literally a lot of times a reel could take an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm making an IG reel. So I'm doing that. And it depends on which day, because I'll have meetings with one of the clubs, either whether it's Hubbard, whether it's Underground, whether it's Gold Coast. And then I think that what takes up the most of my time is the talking back and forth with DJs. That's
really,
yeah, because I have a very unique way that with my parties, like I make them all promoters, and that's why there's no way that I could fill a party by myself, but if I have a team of 4 DJs that are helping me doing it, now you got the strength of 5 people doing that. So I'm talking with them, I'm booking, depends on, I'm always looking at weeks ahead, trying to book as far ahead as I can. So I could be in one conversation with a DJ, and it'll last of basically me going back and forth with them for about an hour, and now I got them booked for the next 3 different slots.
Yeah.
So it's all different. Every day is different. It really, what I love about it is that I'm not on a set thing where like I have to do this, I have to do that. I mean, of course I have my normal things that I have to do, but I could kind of free flow where I literally I could spend time talking to like someone, because a lot of times I'll get hit up randomly too by people for mental health stuff. And that could, all of a sudden I'll look at my phone, I was talking to this person for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like every day is different, but it's social media. It's on my phone. I mean, I'm on my phone fucking 15, 16 hours a day.
How do you keep yourself from getting distracted? I mean, I will literally have a thought in my brain that says, pull your phone out and set an alarm for 1 p.m. to remind yourself to invoice Liquor Box so that you can get paid. My alarm goes off. I'm pulling out my phone. Actually, the thought is to set my alarm. I pull out my phone to go set my alarm. Else? And then the first thing that my hands are doing without me even telling them is swiping over twice, going to the social media folder, opening Instagram, and looking at it.
I know exactly what you mean.
I go to do one thing on my phone, but I'm so programmed to just be on social media and like sit there.
It took me honestly saying to myself, I seriously, I say this all the time. It's all about the things you say to yourself and your perspective. And the things that I say to myself in that instance is that I stop and think, like, it's crazy now where my mind's at now. Cause I'll go to do something. And before I do it, I literally stop and I'll talk to myself. One of the things in that video is, what is the best use of your time right now? And it's so funny because I'll automatically stop myself. It's like knowing that whatever I was going to do wasn't the best use of my time. So I stopped myself and I asked myself, what is the best use of your time? And then I literally cycle through. I'm like, oh, you got to do that invoice. Yeah. That's one thing. And how many times, I don't know if you do this, but how many times I pass that up? I'm just like, nah, I know I have to do that, but let's do the next easiest thing.
Yeah, I always have a list of things to do, and it gets done, you know, in priority wise. You know, sometimes I'll have something on the list for months on end, because it doesn't really have to get, it has to get done, but in a, you know, it could be my taxes. It could be January and taxes are due in April.
Yeah.
And you want to remind yourself that you have to do them, but that could be the one thing that keeps getting carried over to the next list until it's literally time
to do it,
where it has to get
done. Do you notice that, so this is in that video too, like, do you notice that, like, usually the thing that you don't want to do, you put off, but it's also would have the most impact if you did it?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what I've gone to have come a point in my life now is that I do the hard stuff first. Yeah. Do the stuff that's the hardest and the most impactful, because it's just so crazy. Right now I'm just literally analyzing myself because, like,
did you do some cocaine?
No, I didn't. Just smoked some weed. But like literally, like I'll just first example just popped into my head is like, I'll look towards the treadmill, you know, when I'm at the gym, you know, working out. And I'll be like, I'll think for a second that I should do sprints right now. And then right away, no, you don't want to do that, in my head. And then that's when I say, shut the fuck up. You're doing that.
Yeah.
And I do it all the time now. Anything that I don't want to do or is I'm afraid to do, now I just fucking do it. Because I know I'm going to learn from it. I know if, you know, I used to get a lot of like, I still get it sometimes, but not as much as I used to before. But like, you know, every party is like a basketball game. It's either a win or a loss. It's a game. It's like a sport. It's like sports, right? Mm-hmm. In your eyes, it's either a win or a loss. It was either a good party or a bad party. And Kobe Bryant has this quote about doubt. Have you heard that?
No, tell it to me.
He said doubting is such a funny thing because, you know, you already know the outcome. You know, it's either going to be a win or a loss. You know, so if you win, you're still going to have to go win again. If you lose, sucks. But you're still going to have to go win, you know? So having any doubt, anxiety, any worrying, you know, before something or during something is pointless, because you could be using that time, like we talked about, using that time for now, doing whatever you have to do to prevent that loss. Mm-hmm. And if you did that, if you had that mindset, now you don't waste any time. You're a better mental place. And now you're focusing and working on stuff that you can do to prevent that loss. So now, like, I don't like to toot my own horn, but like my parties, like it's tough right now because of winter. It's but there's a transitional period, but generally I don't miss a lot. You know, they're always good parties.
Yeah.
And then the people that are there, it's so funny. I'll feel shitty about a party because it's not as packed, or if I didn't make as much money. But then I have people come up to me like, dude, that was fucking amazing. Like, that was so awesome. I love your parties, you know? And it's just like, it makes me feel good. It's because it's I'm my own worst enemy. I mean, everyone is, you know?
I think we all are.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's getting past that, you know, like that feeling shitty. Like I said, your quality of your life is dictated by your ability to get over those negative thoughts. Because now when I have a bad night, instead of sulking, I sulk for, I sulk for a minute and then I'm working again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just right back on it.
Because it's coming back around.
You got to go.
The time never stops.
Yeah.
And if you had a bad night at this point, the longer you sulk in it, it's just getting closer to getting back to the night again.
Yeah, I never heard that perspective either.
So you might as well just, you give yourself 5 minutes, whatever it is, feel bad for yourself, but then,
And what's crazy that some people live in that.
Yeah.
That live in that feeling bad for yourself. And it's just like, that's a shame. But that's why, that's why I've been on this mental health journey, because just the people that I've been helping, it's crazy. And, we were talking about, that's literally where it started, doing cocaine with people, talking to them all night. and then coming out of it with resolve, like helping them, and then seeing them later, months later, better place mentally because of the stuff we talked about, doing coke all night.
Because of the cocaine.
Pretty much. Yeah. But I would say cocaine with me, yeah, okay. I swear. I mean, that's not even, that's a quip. Cocaine with me.
Yeah, you should get shirts.
Do cocaine with me.
Yeah. The real question here, I mean, we've talked about a lot of heavy hitting subjects and some very informative things, and really I want to know, how have you been a promoter for so long and not become a DJ?
I've always thought about that. Like, I've thought about DJing because I could DJ on so many places if I want to right away. My own parties.
That is the standard progression of a club promoter.
I just don't
these days.
You know what I think it is? It's my passion is really in the entertaining and the hosting, and this is where it's at. Like we talked about bartending, I don't want to touch because it's physical movement. Like actual, I think maybe that's part of it. I know it'd be great too because I know I have a good ear for music, and definitely it's a lot of it's who you know now, right? And trust me, I've thought about something that I could do older if I wanted to. I could do what I want to do right now, but you could be doing that when you're older.
I think that is the complete opposite of any DJ's thought.
Really?
Process.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, the less you feel like you can do it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a young man's game.
Yeah.
You can't be like 45 in the club. I mean,
I could do whatever the fuck I want.
Nick Lago, I guess.
It would be more of like a personal thing for me. It's like, and I also I think a part of it too is that it's hard for me to balance if I have a goal that I'm on, or if I put 100% into that.
Yeah.
So if I was to, I'd have to completely stop doing everything else I was doing if I really wanted to progress in DJing. Because it's like, if you get in what you put out, you get out what you put in, right? If I'm only putting in, an hour or two of work, DJing, I'm not going to get very far.
Well, I mean, it sort of depends what type of DJ you want to be.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If you're just the guy that, plays good tracks and mixes them mediocrely, but has a huge following that could bring out a big crowd, and you're more of a promoter than you are a DJ.
Yeah.
You could still make that work.
Yeah, that's probably what I would end up doing, honestly. But it's just like, I feel like anything I try to do, I try to be the best at it, right? So,
I feel that.
So it would be really hard for me to just kind of like, but like I said, maybe when I'm older, a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, where are we at, Diamond Cut? We're an hour in.
Oh yeah, how long does you guys usually do?
We usually do about an hour.
Nice.
But let's do one last thing here. Yeah. Let's play a game. This is a new game that I actually started today on the podcast with Maximo on the Patreon episode.
I fucking love him.
And
happy birthday! Shout out, happy belated birthday! Right?
They did put happy birthday on the screen at Tunnel, I believe, on Friday. But I
saw
think that was a joke.
I literally saw him. I literally saw him walking, and I didn't even realize it was his birthday. I don't even look at social media really as much as.
It's not his birthday.
It's not.
I think they were fucking with him.
Oh my god, that's hilarious!
Right? Do you know anything about that?
It's a Chris Art joke.
Okay. Holy shit, that's gonna be fucking funny.
Yeah, but I mean,
whenever it was, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Max. This is a game where I'm gonna give you the first part of a popular person's name, and then you got to finish it with the last word, the last couple syllables here, maybe even the last syllable.
Okay.
All right. Arnold Schwartz
Nager.
I didn't think you were going to do it, but god damn it, that was good.
Nager. That reminds me of that South Park thing. I'm clearly saying Nager, though.
No, of course. No, it's just a stupid thing. I would to put a little pressure on people and put them on the spot and see what happens. You absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
But that was a joke. On to the real game.
Yeah.
It
wasn't even a game?
Yeah, no, that was just a joke. That's incredible. All right, so I'm going to name some songs that can hopefully bring up like some core memories. Like music is always tied to memories. Sometimes you hear a song and it just brings you back to the place when you either first heard that song or when you were hooking up with some girl that you fucking changed your life, and that was this popular song at the dance or whatever the fuck it was, you know? And try and get you into like a state of mind that could bring you back there and maybe tell me about like what person you were at that time. You know what I mean? Like, did you have the sidekick? Were you rocking some Gerbaude jeans?
Okay.
Did you have like a Stussy sweater? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we all go through versions of ourselves. I had dreadlocks at one point. I'm fucking
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Listening to POD every day
Yeah.
and Metallica, and you know, depends on what time you catch me. I could have been a completely different person.
Yeah, same.
But let's go to 2010. Because you were promoting back then, or at the very least in the clubs often.
Yeah.
Kesha TikTok is a top track of the time. Usher, oh my God. Rihanna.
Oh yeah. Usher, oh my God. I could picture it right now, actually.
Yeah.
So 2010, then at that time, because that was a big club song.
Yeah,
that was when I was still I think I had just moved down to the city. So I lived right next to Spy Bar, and right there, Flair Tower. And it was before that I was living in the burbs, had my own place in the burbs.
I feel like you had a nice collection of Ed Hardy shirts.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
1000% I did.
Like some bedazzled ones.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, no, I would dress like that for sure. I dress like all my Italian friends.
Yeah, yes, that is big Italian.
Yeah, and I mean, oh man, the sacrilegious rosary, the huge rosary.
Yes, dude.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I had yes.
I feel like we could find some photos, like some old club.
Well, there's
photos
the video of me in the Mohawk. Did you see that? That's 2007.
Oh no,
On my Instagram.
I'd like to see that.
Oh God, I'm wearing white sandals, white cargo shorts, white glasses, white sacrilegious rosary, and
you have a white
I had
beater on?
I had a Mohawk. I had no shirt on.
No shirt.
No shirt. Yeah, that was my first time in Vegas, like 2007, 2008.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I was a maniac. It's funny. It's like I just would, but I still worked during the week, and I would party hard on the weekends. But I never really went out during the week. I would work out, but I definitely actually partied the most when I was managing clubs. That's when I partied the most for sure. But during that time,
It makes sense.
2010, it was the Sunday weekends, but I was still an animal though. I mean, Spy Bar was my place.
What was your favorite club to manage?
Favorite club to manage? I would probably say the first thing that came to my head was Electric Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head, and then I tried to kind of like, because I mean, my best years in nightlife was definitely when I was a manager at Mid, and when we opened Prism. Those are the best times by far, 2016. But actually managing was Electric because I like ran it. I ran the show, So it's a lot different when you're just kind of like a second fiddle, or just like not when you're actually in control of everything. And
Yeah.
it was me and Dash. Me and Dash were running everything.
Dash.
Yeah.
You still talk to him?
We keep in touch here, there, but no, not really.
Yeah, I wonder where he's at. Because I just heard that Bottle Blonde Miami shut down. And
Really?
I
did not know that.
That was like super low key. Like they just did that shit. Didn't.
Wow. And that's the last place he was managing, right? Or he was at?
He was there. Yeah. I'm wondering if he went to Houston.
Were you there when he lived in Houston?
No, he was out there before me, and then
Okay.
he went to Florida before me and Dolo got there.
Gotcha. Is Dole still out there?
He's still out there.
Nice.
Yep, they still got him.
Awesome. Is he crushing though or no?
He's doing well, man.
Good,
He liked
good.
it more than I did. He moved out there like with his girl,
Yeah.
had a baby out there, so he has like
Oh, that's
his
awesome.
family
I
and
always
shit.
loved him.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The first thing I just thought in my head just thought about. I used to always think like, I loved he's got like a sleeve, right? Mm-hmm. I always felt like the sleeve didn't match him. Like he doesn't look at like his face and stuff. It's like doesn't look at the type that have a tattoo, but the tattoos were sick.
Yeah, he's got incredible tattoos. But
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people definitely said that about Dolo. Like I remember my boy was like, "Yo, you look like a
this
very
good kid.
handsome accountant.
Nice kid."
Like,
yeah.
But it's crazy because
Yeah.
he's not. He's from the depths of Indiana. He's the white trash phoenix.
See, and that's funny.
He made it out of.
Yeah.
the grave.
Yeah,
He rose from the ashes.
I would never. I don't know him, you know. So it's like it's funny. It's just because and just having one conversation with you, you learn so much about a person, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It was this club banter, you know, just like and I try to make that as I guess meaningful as possible, but it's so transient. It's just like
it's hard to. It's tough. The nightclub, like when you got to work with someone at an establishment to really get to know them.
Yes.
The best part of the night for me working in a club, even before it was clubs, when I was bartending at Butch McGuire's, was the end of the night when everyone's out, the music's off.
Yeah.
It's all settling in. It's all winding down. Yeah. You're sitting at the table counting money, bullshitting with the other guys, telling stories about the night, how crazy it was, whatever, this and that. You might even, gamble on a couple hands of poker or something, whatever it might be.
Have some girls over there.
Yeah, you got some girls in the basement, whatever it might be. It's that wind down is like my favorite part of the night, and also when you really get to know someone that you're working with.
Yes. Yeah, because you really don't unless you have a conversation without pounding music on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's just a big difference too between in a group setting or just one-on-one too. Mm-hmm. Like so many times I would take home someone, and it's just like the conversation you have during that time different than like if you're just like you're just describing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely I've found that, and that's why I want to I love doing this because it's definitely people are fascinating. You know what I mean? And where there's no industry like ours that so many people, but you don't know any people,
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's no other industry like ours that's like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then at the same time, what people really, their perception of you is really just what you put on social media then, and because if you're having very limited interaction in person, now your perception is what you see, and how much you decide to look at it. And it's that's how much of an impact the person will have on you.
Yeah.
If the people that I don't see on social media or they don't look at mine, we're not really thoughts in each other's heads, But the people that are looking at my story every day, the people I'm looking at, we're constantly thinking about them.
Thinking about them, creating narratives in their own head about what could be happening, what is happening, this and that.
Thinking a certain way. People like probably think a certain, like it. Like in the same token, vice versa. Like, I'm thinking about a person, that person's not thinking about me at all.
Yeah.
They're thinking about me. I'm not thinking about them at all. Some people hate me. Some people hate me. And it's like, how could you hate me? It's like, I'd never even it's just because of who I am.
Right.
It's crazy.
How you represent yourself on social media. And also is, for a lot of people, it in and of itself is a strategy to post something more salacious that didn't really even maybe happen,
for sure,
but it makes it looks like it happened. It's the reality TV editing of your own life. We're all painting a picture, and sometimes you paint it in a particular way to polarize people to try and boost the content itself.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we're talking about mental health. Like I really truly believe that like one of the biggest reasons for depression nowadays is social media.
Yeah.
Like I find it myself. It's like you're scrolling and you're constantly bang, 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 comparing to people, situations, things, and if you didn't do that at all, you could be thinking about other stuff.
Yeah.
But when you do that, there's no, you can't help but like compare. And most of the time it's not going to be in a good light. Most of the time it's from a negative. So that's part of the noise I was talking about. I don't let that shit affect me. And I don't spend any time on it more than I have to for my work, and if I literally get a bad feeling, I identify. I'm just like, I don't need to do this,
Yeah.
And some people, the worst part about it is that some people get the bad feelings and they're not really talking to themselves about it or identifying it, and they're just letting it perpetuate,
Yeah.
And then now you're getting conditioned, and now you're digging yourself a hole even deeper. So I try to tell people like it's literally like I'm on it for work, and it's like if I wasn't, it's so awesome not having to be on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Think about how how old are you?
34 in December.
Okay, so I mean, you come from a time where like I don't know, did you have a phone in high school?
In high school, I had a phone, yeah.
Okay. because I had a pager. I mean, I come from a time where there was no phone, so it's just like just not being on it is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's made life so great, but it's made life so terrible at the same time. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's all how you use it. How you know, if you're gonna be on your phone all day, it's better to be the one that's posting shit,
Yes,
creating shit
yes,
for other people to zombify themselves to, rather than being the person that's being the zombie scrolling the timeline.
But the craziest is that the people that I feel bad for, it's like that you're not using it for work, you're not monetizing it whatsoever. It's just literally posting about yourself, you know, for attention, or looking at other people's lives. You know, it's like there's no point in that. You know what I mean? It's like that's why I say having goals, purpose, and direction. It's one thing to do that as recreation here or there, right? While you're in between working on your life and what you want for yourself. But if that's just it, and you don't have any road will take you there. You know, it's just like you don't have, and it's oh man, and it's going to get worse and worse for new generations too.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's real shit. Well, we got to wrap this up because I'm going to be honest, Diamond Cut's got a lot of work to do, and he's not getting paid enough money. And that's coming from the guy that pays him. So make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. We're firing that back up. Got the first episode coming out with Maximo Quinones. I got it.
Happy birthday.
I got it. I wish he was here for me to get that. But yeah, it's $5 a month. You get an extra episode every single week. You get 4 extra episodes a month for your $5. That's less than literally a cup of coffee costs you, that you would be finishing in one day. This is for the entire month. So don't forget to subscribe to that. If you want to be on the podcast or anything like that, the first thing I'm going to ask you is if you subscribe and support. So definitely get that going. We got to get Diamond Cut some more money. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment on the video if you're on YouTube. Algorithm activating activity. That's what we like to see over here. And Eric Boss, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check him out Wednesday night at No-Tell Hotel, Thursday night at House and Sushi, and Fridays at Fox's Wild. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about your book to play as well.
That's right. I am playing No-Tell Hotel.
Dominatrix Party.
First
Wednesday of every month. So that's December 6th. It's the first Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wild one. Like I said, you were perfect for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. And when I was in there, you know, a couple weeks ago, and I like that room. I like what they did up there on the 3rd floor of Hubbard. It's like a boiler room style kind of thing. They got the light guy in there. I'm excited to play house music. I want to play something different. I want to have fun. I want to let my hair down a little bit.
And there's gonna be a stripper pole in there. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I might let my panties down too.
I'll probably be in a dominatrix type of outfit. Whatever.
Let's dominate.
Let's get it.
Let's go, champ. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Peace.